Got head coach Ben Olsen here for you. Ben, coming off a road win, coming back here at home against the Galaxy. How the team been preparing this week as you look to face Galaxy here?
It's been a very good week as far as preparation. As preparation goes, team's in a good spot. Excited about the opportunity here. It's obviously a massive one for our group and for the club, we need to win a game. It's that simple. We're still behind, but it's nice to still be in the conversation. The win last weekend puts us in a spot where as I said, we still have opportunity to reach our goal, and that's to be in the postseason. But it certainly starts with getting past an LA team that's, I think, really good and has had an interesting season. But they are heating up and playing some as good a soccer as they have all year long.
Thanks for that. Start with Danny.
Yes. Hey, Coach. Santos and Damian is available?
Damian is with Jamaica.
Yes. Oh, Jamaica.
Yeah, so he's not going to be coming to the game tomorrow. Sergio is available.
Okay.
And he's fitted nicely this week.
Anything else? Okay.
Ben, coming off after a win, how's the energy of the team in the locker room?
I think there was a natural exhale there, certainly Sunday and Monday, and even into Tuesday, and that it was a long month or two for us, and very emotional, and to stop the bleeding and get that win off our back was important. But once Wednesday hits, we're turning the screw a little bit and making sure they understand the opportunity. But it didn't take much. I think they understand that the opportunity in front of us, and that we got to win. We got to win a home game, and we haven't done that enough for our fans this year. And this is just I think we're hopefully we can build off of last weekend from on both sides of the ball and scoring goals and being dangerous in the attack, but also pretty resilient on the defensive end. Take out the last maybe 10 minutes, but overall it was a pretty good performance.
Good. All right, we'll go to Rudy. Go ahead, Rudy.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned a little bit about LA. Kind of looks to be a little deceiving, them sitting so low on the table, but getting something out of league scope. But what's the biggest challenge you expect from Galaxy on Saturday?
They throw a bunch of different looks at you in the build. They're going to have the ball for stretches of this game. That's what they do, and part of that is when you play certain teams, it's pretty well it's spelled out on how they're going to go about that in maybe one way or two, and how they want to go about getting into our end. They are there's a lot of flexibility with this group, a lot of savvy players, and they can, whether it's again drop six, coming wide, false nine at times. They just bring so many different looks at you. It's very hard to read how they're going to go about building the game into their attack, and where they're going to put their numbers, where their overloads are. And then obviously, Paintsill is going on international duty, but Peck is as dangerous as any winger in this league. So identifying him and trying to slow him down is a big piece for any time you're playing LA Galaxy. But again, I think they're fun to watch. I think they're playing at a high level, and you saw it in Leagues Cup and how well they did there. So we've got some ideas on it, but it's problem solving in real time. And then we also have to take the game as well. We have to make sure we have the right amount of possessions, and make sure we don't defend in the way that a lot of teams defend them, and that's for long stretches, because they can wear you down. And then in and around the box, finishing attacks, they're clever. They got high IQ, and they're able to produce goals.
I think somebody asked already about Sergio and Damien, but just not about availability for this weekend, but what are your expectations for them, and the impact that they can have this, final regular season games?
Yeah, it's always a strange period to get these players with 6, 5 games when they're actually all said and done, to incorporate them, and how can they quickly get up to speed, and also be a part of really crucial games down the stretch. And they're having to make up for a long time. Fortunately, both of them are seasoned and experienced, both in general, but also within our league. So that helps. We don't have a guy from abroad trying to figure out the league and the travel. So that does help with kind of the transition for them to incorporate into the group. So we'll see. We'll figure him out. Damien was only here for a few days. Then he was off to international duty, so he's going to take a bit. But Sergio's, again, been in a bunch of different teams in this league and a bunch of different structures, so getting him up to speed won't be too hard. But looking forward to them. Both of them have fit into the culture very, very easily, and have been a joy to work with so far.
And last one for me, Coach. Nelson Quinones back in the field with D2 last week after nearly 20 months after a horrific injury. What can you tell us about his resilience?
Well, he's been out, as you said, quite a while, and so it's about pushing him and getting him some game minutes and evaluating him every day in training and just seeing where he's at. And again, some of that's going to take a little time, but he also has some qualities that can change a game. And when is he ready for that? We're evaluating that on a day-to-day basis. It was good to get him some minutes in there, and it was, he had some moments where he looked like he was out for a long time, naturally, and he had some moments where he looked dangerous. So this is, just, again, taking the temperature physically every day for him, and also just evaluating him on the field and making sure we rush him back, but in a really, really smart way.
Thanks, Coach.
Diego, go ahead.
Hey, Ben. Something to what Rudy said about how this LA team looks different than the last time that you guys played, which ended in a 1-1 draw. Can you talk to me a little bit of overall, how this provides a lot of change and openness within the league, and how does that kind of creep into, you guys have 5-6 games left, there's playoffs right there. Talk to me a little bit about those sentiments.
I'm not sure what your question is. What do you want to know? Do you want to know the old Galaxy versus the new Galaxy, or do you want to know what?
A little bit of that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they changed that much. They had a red card when we played them, and so that was a tricky game to go back and try to gain something for. It's more about their recent form. Listen, when you're in a season like they were or we are, where you feel like you're chasing the season, and you're having a lot of different personnel and injuries, and part of the trick, I guess, from my end, I won't speak for Greg, is finding the best group, right? And those partnerships around the field that is the best version of yourselves. And that, I think, has taken a long time for us this year to get to. I think we're pretty darn close at this point. But that's not a good thing to be saying in September. And I'm sure, again, I don't want to speak for Greg, but I'm sure he's had a little bit of that this year. Again, a lot of change. And one of the best players this league's ever seen, and Puy has been out. So, and again, they've had some key pieces gone that had also personality. So I don't know. I think our seasons have paralleled in that way. And sometimes it takes time. Greg's a great coach. He was going to figure his team out. I've watched them recently, and again, they're in good form, and they're a handful. And it doesn't matter who they're playing; they're still going to have they're still going to have the ball, and they still want to dictate the game, and they're still clever, and there's a lot of combinations with high IQ players. And as I said, if you close one window, they're smart enough to take the other window. And if you close that one, they have kind of a third option. And that's always a tricky team to go against in how you problem solve in real time. And so that's on the defensive end. On the other side, can you exploit some of their weaknesses? And they've certainly given up a lot of goals in the way we have. And it's important for us if we're going to win at home to put some numbers up.
And then Brooklyn and Jack are both out for international duty. Can you talk a little bit about the adjustments that have to be made because of their absences? And
No.
how did it feel to give up?
Sorry.
No worries.
No, but we'll miss them. Yeah, Brooklyn's. I will take this opportunity to talk about Brooklyn as being a real bright spot this year, and we talk about there's talk about chasing the season and where we're at, but there's been some really interesting stories with this group, and Brooklyn's one of them. We haven't had a homegrown play at this level consistently and earn a starting spot in a while. So that's I think a feather in the cap of everybody that's been working with Brooklyn from the time he's been at this club. And it's been fun to work with him. Jack's another one that is, I think, progressing, and that's important for us as a club. That's important for him as a player if he's going to eventually be with the national team and also go on the greener pastures in some ways, if you could call Europe greener pastures. We'll see. We'll see. We talk about Brooklyn and Jack, and we'll miss some of their qualities. But we have faith in that we're a little further along, and we have some options that you'll see tomorrow that maybe have different qualities than Jack. We don't have another gifted left footer on this team that can do what Jack does, whether it's set pieces, whether it's at a run of play. But part of this is putting personnel in there that may have a different look in that spot that can, help us in different areas, whether it's how we press, whether it's where they find the ball, or they higher up the field. All these things are different with different personnel, and how that works. The relationship with Griff over there is going to be different. So that's all stuff that, we'll have to figure out. Usually when a holding mid goes out, there's kind of a like for like situation. So but we're a little thin there, but we've made it work. We're still in the conversation, and proud of these guys to still be in the conversation right now. And this, not to undersell, but this is a massive game for us.
In New York, Ondřej, how much confidence does this pivotal road win against St. Louis give the team as you continue to push for a playoff spot, and how were the vibes today in training?
Yes, 100%. We needed this win. I think it was our best performance. Like first 20 minutes of the second half, we scored 3 goals. A good result. We are happy about it, and it gives us a little bit hope and chance to continue this season, to reach our goal, and it's a playoff, and we have an important match in Saturday against LA, and I hope we prepare ourselves in the best way, and we want to of course win, especially home. We own it to our fans.
Yeah, and you talked about it a little. So Dynamo are back home this
Yeah.
weekend against LA Galaxy, another important Western Conference matchup. What kind of match do you expect against them?
Yeah, we expect a hard match, but I think it's all about us, because we want to play our game, our style, and in front of our fans. And like I said, we own it to our fans. They are always there, and I hope we will perform in the best way and give them 3 points.
Yeah, and it will be announced later today that you and Ezekiel Ponce were named to Team of the Match today
Okay.
for this past weekend for your goal contributions.
Okay.
How important is it to keep that form going on the attacking end, and how does that energize the team moving forward?
Yeah, I'm happy about it that me and Zeke we are in a team match day, you know. So it's nice, but it's all about our team, and you know, if we play like a team, we have good individuality. So I'm happy about this, and I'm happy that I play with the Zeke up front, and I used to it every match. So I hope I will perform in the best way, and I will do maximum for the Houston Dynamo. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I have one more actually.
Yeah.
Speaking about how last week's training got started off into a very energetic start, and it carried into a win into the weekend. How important is it for the group to have a start of training like that in order to prepare for LA this weekend?
Yeah, it's so important because you know our season is up and down, and this win we feel much better. You know, especially in the start of this week on this training session was great session. You know, and yeah, we keep pushing, and still 6 matches to the end, and it's 18 points. So I hope we will do best and maybe win everything.